Good evening, everybody. This is Steve Fletcher with a trumpet for my people. Today is March 31st, 2024. And tonight I want to talk to you about the keyword bridges. The key word is bridges. On March 8th, Riley Strain went missing. March 8th, Riley Strain went missing. The last time he was seen, he was at the 32 Bridge bar. Riley Strain went missing from the 32 Bridge bar. On March 4th, Caleb Harris went missing from Corpus Christi, Texas. The last time he was seen was at this bridge on March 4th. Caleb Harris went missing. This was the Instagram post. His last snap location was this bridge. Now, over the last few days, we've had bridges that are beginning to collapse. This bridge in Baltimore was struck on March 26th, and the entire bridge went down. Bridge. 2 days ago now, another bridge was struck in Oklahoma. Barge strikes bridge in Oklahoma. Now, keyword bridge. Pons, BROOK, Comet, also known as the Devil's Comet. Pons, BROOK. Pons. The Pons comes from the Latin word bridge. Pons, BROOK. Pons, BROOK, the Devil's Comet. Pons means bridge. The pons bridge is part of the brain stem that in humans and other mammals lies inferior to the midbrain, superior to the medulla oblongata, and anterior to the cerebellum. It's part of the brain. Okay? The pons. And this is a bridge to the brain. Pons, BROOK, Comet. Okay? Now, we've got all of these stories that are connecting us to bridges. Now bridges are getting struck by boats. Some bridges are collapsing. And we have a comet coming that in the name of the comet is bridge. Pons comes from Latin bridge. Puente. Puente. At this time, since this could be one of the last signs, as we're watching for the rapture of the church, interesting to note that the name of our ministry here in Mexico is Bridge of Love. Bridge of Love. And so bridge is connected to Pons. Now, if we look at this comet, let us take a look at some of the details on this, because people are watching this with the lead up to the April 8th eclipse, because it's going to be in the sight or close to the sun at that time. Some people think that this comet might be even visible during the eclipse. That would be amazing and interesting. But the date, April 8th, as far as the comet goes, does not actually show up in the story of the comet. Another date does show up, and so let's take a look at some of these details. 12P Pons BROOK is a periodic comet with an orbital period of 71 years. Comets with an orbital orbital period of 20 to 200 years are referred to as Halley-type comets. It is one of the brightest known periodic comets, reaching an absolute visual magnitude of about 5 in its approach to perihelion. Comet Pons BROOK was definitely discovered in July of 1812. Okay, July of 1812. Now, as we were watching the destruction of the Francis Scott Key Bridge, 1812 came up. Okay, Francis Scott Key, who died on January 11th, 1843. We talked about January 11th and the importance of this day as we're watching all of the eclipses. He penned the Star-Spangled Banner, and he did this during the War of 1812. Okay, during the War of 1812. Well, Pons, the comet here, was discovered in 1812. So this Devil's Comet was discovered in 1812. Well, Francis Scott is connected to 1812 and penned the Star-Spangled Banner in 1814 during the War of 1812. Okay. Okay, so that's one detail. The next detail is the perihelion that is coming up on April 21st. The next perihelion, which means its closest approach to the sun, is on April 21st. It will not be closest to Earth until June 2nd. Now, here's an interesting thing here. If we look up this 2024 passage, the perihelion passage is on April 21st, 2024, closest to the sun, and the closest approach to Earth will be 42 days later on June 2nd. Okay, so April 21st, the Devil's Comet is having its perihelion, and then it will be closest to Earth 42 days later. Now, 42 is the number of the Antichrist, as he's given times and half a time. He's given 42 months, 3.5 years, 42 months. Well, here is 42 days, and this is the Devil's Comet. Okay, so very interesting that April 21st. Now, let us look at April 21st on the Hebrew calendar. Is Passover. This is the Hebrew calendar. April 21st is Passover on the Hebrew calendar. We had been watching the Torah calendar, and according to the Torah calendar, that does not have a leap month in 2024. Passover was March 24th and March 25th. But if we go to the Hebrew calendar, that does have a leap month, an Adar 2 in 2024. Passover is April 21st. Okay, well, Pons BROOK has its perihelion on Passover, according to the Hebrew calendar. Okay. Does this date mean anything? Remember when Prince died on April 21st? And he had a song that said, "I would die for you. And April is the 4th month, and you is the 21st day. I would die for you." And he died on the day that many think that he predicted his own death on this day. I would die for you. I would die April 21st. Pons BROOK, perihelion is April 21st. And April 21st on the Hebrew calendar is Passover. Now, remember when Donald Trump said Easter is our timeline? April 21st, 2024 is Passover on the Hebrew calendar.
Easter is a very special day for many reasons. For me, for a lot of A lot of our friends, that's a very special day. And what a great timeline this would be. Easter as our timeline, what a great timeline that would be.
So Easter is our timeline. Pons, BROOK, perihelion, the Devil's Comet, perihelion, closest to the sun, April 21st, 2024. Now connected to Prince on April 21st. Daniel 9:25 says, "Know therefore and understand that from the going forth of the commandment to restore and to build Jerusalem until the Messiah, the Prince, shall be 7 weeks, and 62 weeks, the street shall be built again, and the wall, even in troublous times." Daniel 9:26, "And after 62 weeks shall Messiah be cut off, but not for himself, and the people of the Prince that shall come shall destroy the city and the sanctuary, and the end thereof shall be with a flood, and unto the end of the war desolations are determined." And then in Daniel 10:13, Prince is connected to the number 21. "But the prince of the kingdom of Persia withstood me 21 days. Prince, 21. Prince, 21. Prince, 21, April 21st. Perihelion of Pons, BROOK, April 21st. Passover on the Hebrew calendar, April 21st. Okay, the last thing I want to share with you right now. We can watch Pons, BROOK from where it is now. Let's go to now. Okay, this is Pons, BROOK right now on March 31st. Pons, BROOK, Comet. Remember, Pons means bridge. Perihelion is going to be on April 21st. But if we go forward here, March 31st, April 1st, April 2nd, April 3rd, 4th, 5th, 6th, 7th, 8th, 9th, 10th, 11th, 12th, 13th, 14th, 15th, 16th, 17th, 18th, 19th, 20th, 21. Okay. April 21st. Where is Pons, BROOK, Comet on perihelion? It's in Taurus. So I looked up Taurus, and I found all this information about Taurus missiles. And they're looking for the best missile that will destroy the Crimean Bridge. Taurus Storm Shadow, or ATACMS, West competes to see which missile will destroy Crimean Bridge. This article was from March 20th, 2024. We're just 10 days away. This is very recent information. Taurus missiles. So if we go and we look up Taurus missiles and bridge, okay, we have this information. This is from March 13th, 2024. For Germany's Schultz, Taurus missiles are a bridge too far in Ukraine. Why Ukraine wants Germany's Taurus missiles. Why Ukraine wants Germany's Taurus missiles. Interesting thing about Taurus missiles, with image sensors, Taurus can use bridges, rivers, or crossroads for orientation. Taurus determines its position by constantly measuring its own movement. Wiretapping of German officers' conversation about Taurus missiles, how it could affect aid to Ukraine. Russian propagandists have posted online a conversation between German officers who discussed the supply of TAURUS missiles to Ukraine and their possible use on the Crimean Bridge. Okay, so we have the connection here of all of these articles that have come out in the recent days. Riley Strain, last seen at 32 Bridge Bar. Caleb Harris, last Snapchat was at this bridge. The Maryland bridge collapse. Another bridge is struck by a barge. But the biggest bridge of all is the Devil's Comet. And I think that this is the reason why bridge is now a key word. Bridge is the key word in everything that they're showing. Bridge is the key word. Okay? And now we have the next perihelion passage is April 21st. Passover on the Hebrew calendar. Pons, bridge. They're looking for the best missiles to destroy this Crimean bridge. TAURUS missile. Pons is in TAURUS on April 21st at the perihelion. It's in TAURUS. And if we go back to the eclipse, Pons BROOK is not yet in TAURUS. Okay? Is TAURUS a key to the bridge? If it is, it's not going to be in TAURUS until about the 14th of April. Okay? 14th of April through the 21st of April. Interesting that Venus is right in the same location of where the eclipse will be on April 8th. Here's the eclipse of April 8th. Going forward to Passover, 21st, Venus is right in the fish, April 21st. So the key word is bridge. There's no doubt that the key word is bridge right now, everything they're showing. The Devil's Comet means bridge. Okay, is this the bridge we are waiting for? Is this the bridge of love that God gave us to create here in Yucatan, Mexico? The bridge of love? Is this the bridge of love we are waiting for, folks? Is Passover the timeline, just as Donald Trump said? Passover is the timeline. April 21st. The prince that will come, just as Prince died on April 21st. I will die for you. Prince died on April 21st. Is this a sign of the prince to come? April 21st. Okay, well, that's all I have tonight. I pray you guys are blessed. This is Steve Fletcher with a trumpet for my people, the sign of his coming revealed.